He walked into that bank like a ghost, invisible, expected to vanish the moment he asked for something as simple as his balance. The manager laughed, loud enough for everyone to hear, and suggested the ATM was more his speed. Elias Carver, 68 years old, hand steady on an envelope his late wife had filled with 50 years of faith, didn't flinch. He just repeated, quiet as a prayer, "I'd like to see my balance, please." What happened next didn't just crack that manager's smile. It shattered an entire system built on making people like Elias disappear. Subscribe right now and tell me where you're watching from, because this story doesn't end with humiliation. It ends with 7 figures, 200 stolen accounts, and a neighborhood that finally learned what justice looks like when the invisible refused to stay silent. Elias Carver finished the last pass with his mop across the grocery store's linoleum floor. The clock above the loading dock read 5:17. His shift had ended at 5. He always stayed longer. He wrapped the mop head in its plastic cover and wheeled the bucket to the supply closet. His knees ached. They had ached for 3 years now, since Lila passed. He never complained. The staff restroom was empty. He changed out of his work shirt and pulled on the button-down Lila had ironed 2 weeks before the hospital. The fabric was soft. He had washed it carefully every Sunday since. Elias reached into his locker and withdrew the envelope, brown paper worn at the corners. Inside were 4 passbooks, their covers faded green and blue. Lila's handwriting marked the inside flap. For the scholars. When the time is right. He had carried this envelope for 23 months. Today felt right. The rubber band snapped into place around the package. He tucked it into his jacket pocket and locked the locker. His reflection in the mirror showed a man of 68, with gray temples and careful eyes. He straightened his collar. The bus timetable was taped inside his locker door. The number 12 stopped 4 blocks from the bank at 6:45. He had 40 minutes. Outside, the November air bit at his face. Elias walked slowly. His knees preferred slow. The streetlights flickered on as he passed the corner store where Mrs. Park bought her morning paper. She would be at the bank too. She always arrived early. He reached the bus stop with 10 minutes to spare. A young woman stood there, headphones in, eyes on her phone. She did not look at him. He was used to that. The bus arrived on time. Elias paid with exact change and found a seat near the back. Through the window, the city shifted from industrial blocks to renovated storefronts. The bank sat on the border between them. His chest tightened. Elias felt nervous. He had not asked for anything in a long time. Not since the funeral arrangements. Not since signing the papers that made him a widower. But Lila had been clear. She had gripped his hand in the hospital bed and told him the accounts were for scholarships, for neighborhood kids who needed books and fees paid, for the community that had held them both when they were young and invisible. The bus stopped. Elias stood and gripped the rail. His knees protested. He walked to the door and stepped down to the sidewalk. The bank rose ahead of him, glass and steel, remodeled last spring. It gleamed under the morning sun. He had walked past it 100 times on his way to work. He had never gone inside. Elias crossed the street. A car honked. He raised his hand in apology and kept walking. At the entrance, he paused. Through the glass doors, he saw the gleaming lobby. Marble floors, a curved reception desk, people in suits moving with purpose. He touched the envelope in his pocket. His breath caught. "Lila," he whispered, "I'm doing this for you." The doors slid open with a soft hiss. Elias stepped inside. The lobby smelled of coffee and new carpet. Elias stood just inside the entrance and blinked against the bright lights. A woman in a blazer appeared beside him. Good morning, she said. Her smile was professional. Are you here for an appointment? I'd like to check my balance, Elias said. Her eyes flicked to his jacket, then to his work boots. Something shifted in her expression. Of course, she said. The teller line is to your left. Or you can use the ATM just outside if that's easier. I'll wait for the teller, Elias said. She gestured toward a row of chairs near the window. You can have a seat. It may be a few minutes. Elias walked to the chairs. 3 were empty. He chose the one farthest from the door and sat down carefully. His knees thanked him. A man in a gray suit approached the desk. The woman in the blazer stepped forward immediately. Good morning, Mr. Chen, she said. Your usual conference room is ready. The man nodded and followed her down a hallway. She had not offered Elias coffee. He waited. The clock on the wall ticked forward. 6:53, 6:57. The teller windows opened at 7. Elias? He turned. Mrs. Hyjin Park stood near the entrance, her purse over her arm. Her face brightened. I thought that was you, she said. She crossed to him and sat in the next chair. Are you here for banking? Yes, ma'am, Elias said. Me too, Mrs. Park said. Every month, same day. They know me now. She smiled. Well, some of them do. The teller windows came alive with light. A young woman appeared behind the first counter. Then another. Then a third. Looks like we can go, Mrs. Park said. They stood together. Mrs. Park walked to the second window. Elias approached the first. The teller was young, maybe 25. Her name tag read Jessica. Good morning, she said. How can I help you? Elias set the envelope on the counter. I'd like to see my balance, please. Jessica glanced at the envelope. Do you have your account number? It's in here, Elias said. He opened the envelope and withdrew the passbooks. The pages were filled with Lila's neat handwriting. Deposits, dates, running totals that stopped 3 years ago. Jessica's eyebrows rose. These are legacy passbooks. Yes, ma'am, Elias said. I'll need to get a manager, Jessica said. Her voice was careful. These accounts require special access. It'll just be a moment. She stepped away from the counter. Elias stood still. His hands rested on the passbooks. Behind him, a door opened. A man's voice carried across the lobby. Jessica, what's the holdup? Elias turned his head slightly. A man in his 30s approached, his tie perfectly knotted, his hair gelled into place. His smile was wide and empty. Jessica leaned close and whispered something. The man's eyes found Elias. His smile widened further. He walked toward the counter. Good morning, the man said. His voice was loud, friendly in a way that felt performed. I'm Trent Duffy, branch manager. I hear you have some old accounts? Elias nodded. Yes, sir. I'd like to see my balance. Trent picked up one of the passbooks and flipped through it. His smile flickered. These haven't been updated in years. My wife passed, Elias said quietly. We stopped using them then. I'm sorry for your loss, Trent said. The words were automatic. He set the passbook down. But you know, these old systems can be tricky. Have you tried using an ATM? It's much faster. I'd prefer to see the balance here, Elias said. Trent's jaw tightened. He glanced around the lobby. Several customers had turned to watch. Mrs. Park was one of them. Sir, Trent said. His voice dropped slightly. I'm trying to help you. The ATM will give you your balance in seconds. Or we can set you up with online banking. Much more convenient than standing in line. I don't have a computer, Elias said. Trent blinked. You don't have a smartphone? No, sir. Someone behind Elias chuckled. Trent's smile returned, sharper now. Well, Trent said, that explains it. He tapped the passbooks. These are pretty outdated. Just trying to make sure you're keeping up with modern banking. Elias felt his chest tighten. His voice was steady. I'd like to see my balance, please. The silence stretched. Trent's smile was frozen on his face. Fine, Trent said. He raised his voice slightly. Marla, can you come here? A woman in her 40s approached from a desk near the back. Her name tag read Marla Rios, assistant manager. Her face was tired. Yes, Marla said. This gentleman has some legacy accounts, Trent said. Can you pull them up? Marla took the passbooks and examined them. Her eyes narrowed. I'll need to verify these in the system. Do you have your ID? Elias withdrew his wallet and handed her his driver's license. Marla studied it, then the passbooks. And your password, Marla said. Password? Elias said. For account access, Marla said. It's required for legacy accounts. Elias felt something cold settle in his stomach. I don't have a password. My wife and I opened these accounts in 1973. Marla's shoulders sagged slightly. Then I'll need additional verification. This may take some time. Trent rolled his eyes. The gesture was subtle but deliberate. Two customers near the ATM saw it. One smiled. Elias's hands shook. He pressed them flat on the counter. I'd like a printed balance, Elias said. According to your policy, I'm entitled to one. He withdrew a folded brochure from his pocket. It was the bank's customer rights pamphlet, picked up from the lobby rack. He had studied it on the bus. Trent's smile vanished. Marla took the brochure from Elias. Her eyes scanned the text. She looked at Trent. He's right, Marla said quietly. Policy says we provide printed statements for legacy accounts on request. Trent's voice was tight. If the system allows it. It should, Marla said. She gestured towards the back office. I'll need to access the main terminal. It'll take a few minutes. Take your time, Elias said. Marla walked toward the office. Trent lingered at the counter, his arms crossed. He did not look at Elias. The lobby hummed with low conversation. Elias felt eyes on him. He kept his gaze forward. Mrs. Park finished at her window and walked toward the exit. She paused beside Elias and touched his arm briefly. Good for you, she whispered. Then she was gone. Elias's chest loosened slightly. He was not alone. Trent's phone buzzed. He pulled it from his pocket and read the screen. His jaw clenched. He typed a quick response and shoved the phone away. This is going to take a while, Trent said. You might want to come back another day. I'll wait, Elias said. Trent exhaled sharply. Fine. He turned and called over his shoulder. Jessica, handle the line. He disappeared into the back office. Through the glass partition, Elias could see him speaking to Marla. His gestures were sharp. Marla's face remained neutral. She typed into the terminal, her fingers quick and certain. The minutes dragged. Elias stood at the counter. His knees ached. He did not sit. Finally, Marla emerged. Her face was pale. I need to call IT, she said. The accounts are flagged as protected tier. I can't access them without support. What does that mean? Elias said. It means they're high security, Marla said. Usually reserved for large balances or trust accounts. I've never seen it on a personal passbook. Elias felt his heart pound. How long will IT take? They're sending someone now, Marla said. 10 minutes, maybe 15. Trent reappeared beside her. His voice was calm now, controlled. Sir, why don't you have a seat while we sort this out? There's coffee by the window. I'll stand, Elias said. Trent's smile returned. It did not reach his eyes. Suit yourself. He turned and walked back toward his office. His voice carried. Some people just don't understand efficiency. A man near the ATM laughed. Elias's hands tightened on the counter. His breath caught. A young man in his 20s entered through the side door. He carried a laptop bag and wore a badge that read IT support. His name tag said Dev Malik. Marla waved him over. Thanks for coming so fast. No problem, Dev said. He set his bag on the counter and pulled out his laptop. What's the issue? Marla handed him the passbooks. Dev's eyes widened slightly as he scanned the account numbers. These are old, Dev said. Like, really old. Can you access them? Marla said. Dev connected his laptop to the terminal. His fingers flew across the keyboard. The screen lit up with lines of code and account data. Then the screen flashed red. A warning box appeared. Dev leaned closer. Protected tier notice, Dev said softly. I've never seen this before. What does it mean? Marla said. It means these accounts have elevated security, Dev said, usually for high-net-worth clients or corporate accounts. He glanced at Elias. Are you sure these are personal? My wife and I opened them, Elias said. We saved for years. Dev looked back at the screen. I need to do a deeper lookup. This might take a minute. Trent appeared beside them. He leaned over Dev's shoulder, his face close to the screen. How long? Trent said. Not sure yet, Dev said. His voice was distracted. I'm trying to bypass the security flag. We have other customers waiting, Trent said. He gestured toward the lobby. This is taking too long. Marla's voice was sharp. He has a right to his balance. Trent straightened. His voice was low, meant only for Marla. But Elias heard it. Let's not waste the whole morning on a charity case, Trent said. Dev's fingers froze on the keyboard. Elias felt his chest tighten. Marla's face flushed. That's inappropriate. I'm being realistic, Trent said. He raised his voice slightly, turning toward the lobby. Some people just don't understand how banks work anymore. A woman near the coffee station glanced over. She looked at Elias, then quickly away. Elias felt heat rise in his face. He was angry. He had not been angry in a long time. I understand how banks work, Elias said quietly. I understand how dignity works too. Trent's smile sharpened. Of course. I didn't mean anything by it. Dev cleared his throat. I found something. Everyone turned. Dev's face was pale. He pointed at the screen. These accounts are linked, Dev said, and the balance is significant. How significant? Trent said. His voice was suddenly interested. Dev hesitated. He glanced at Elias. I'd rather display it privately. Show me now, Trent said. Dev's eyes found Marla's. She nodded slightly. Dev pressed a key. The screen changed. Trent stepped closer to the screen. His eyes scanned the numbers. His face went white. That can't be right, Trent said. I've verified it twice, Dev said. The accounts have accrued interest for decades, and they're linked to a scholarship designation. Marla leaned over. Her breath caught. Elias stood still. His heart pounded. What's the balance? Trent moved suddenly. He reached over and minimized the screen. Privacy policy, he said quickly. We can't display financial information publicly. Dev frowned. You asked me to show you. I made a mistake, Trent said. His voice was smooth now, controlled. Let's move this to a private office. Elias felt his stomach twist. Something was wrong. I'd like to see the balance, Elias said, on paper, as I requested. Trent's jaw tightened. Of course, but let's verify everything first. Make sure there are no errors. He turned to Marla. Bring the files to my office. We'll sort this out properly. Marla's eyes were wide. She looked at Elias, then at Trent. He has a right to a statement. And he'll get one, Trent said. Once we verify the figures. The lobby had gone quiet. Several customers watched openly now. A man in a suit stood near the entrance, his coffee cup paused halfway to his mouth. Elias's hands were steady. His voice was calm. "I'd like the statement printed now, please." Trent's face flushed. "Sir, I'm trying to help you. These accounts are complicated. We need to make sure everything is accurate before we hand you paperwork." "I have time," Elias said. The silence stretched. Trent's phone buzzed again. He ignored it. Finally, Trent exhaled. "Fine. Marla, start the print process, but I want to review it first." Marla hesitated. Then she nodded and turned back to the terminal. Dev reopened the screen. He navigated to the print menu and selected Account Summary with Transaction History. The printer in the back office hummed to life. The sound was soft, mechanical, deliberate. Trent crossed his arms. His voice was low. "This is highly irregular." "It's policy," Marla said. Trent said nothing. He stared at the printer as if he could stop it by force of will. The first page emerged, then the second, then a third. Marla gathered them and scanned the numbers. Her eyes widened further. "Sir," Marla said to Elias, "your total balance across all linked accounts is—" She paused. Her voice was quiet. $1.3 million. The lobby went silent. Elias felt the air leave his lungs. He gripped the edge of the counter. "What?" Elias said. Marla turned the pages toward him. Her finger traced down the columns. 4 accounts, all accruing compound interest since 1973, designated for the Lila Carver Scholars Fund. Elias's eyes blurred. He blinked hard. The numbers swam into focus. Deposits of $50, $25, $15. Lila's handwriting matched the dates. Then decades of interest, compounding quietly. "She saved everything," Elias whispered. "Every extra shift, every holiday bonus." Trent cleared his throat loudly. "This is a privacy matter. We need to move to a private office." But the words had already spread. The man, near the entrance, lowered his coffee cup. The woman by the ATM stared openly. Elias looked up at Marla. "I'd like a full fee history, for all accounts." Marla blinked. "Fee history?" "Yes," Elias said. He pulled the customer rights brochure from his pocket again and pointed to a highlighted section. "I'm entitled to a full accounting of all fees charged." Trent stepped between them. "That's unnecessary. Our fees are standard." "Then it should be easy to print," Elias said. Marla looked at Trent. "He's within his rights." Trent's voice dropped. "Marla, don't." "It's policy," Marla said. Her voice was stronger now. She turned back to the terminal and typed quickly. The printer hummed again. Dev watched from his laptop. His eyes flicked between the screen and Trent. Something shifted in his expression. "Mr. Duffy," Dev said carefully. "There's something in the system logs." "Not now," Trent said. "It's relevant," Dev said. "There are unauthorized fee conversions attached to these accounts." Trent's face went rigid. "What are you talking about?" Dev turned his laptop so Marla could see. "Look at the transaction history. Maintenance fees, account conversion fees, dormancy charges. They're all applied retroactively, starting 2 years ago." Marla leaned over the screen. Her face paled. "That's not possible," Marla said. "These accounts are legacy protected. Fees can't be applied without customer authorization." "They were," Dev said quietly. "And not just to these accounts. I'm seeing the same pattern across multiple accounts from this zip code." Elias felt his breath catch. "How much was taken?" Dev calculated quickly. "From your accounts, approximately $18,000 over 2 years." The room tilted. Elias gripped the counter harder. "That's theft," Elias said. Trent moved fast. He reached over and closed Dev's laptop. "This is an internal systems issue. We'll investigate it separately." "No," Elias said. His voice was louder now. "I want it documented, now." Marla met Elias's eyes. Something passed between them. A choice was being made. She nodded slowly. "I'll print the complete fee log." Trent's hand shot out. He pressed the cancel button on the printer. The machine stopped mid-page. Marla stared at Trent. Her voice was cold. "What are you doing?" "Protecting the bank," Trent said. "These are serious allegations. We can't just hand over documents without proper review." "He's a customer requesting his records," Marla said. "That's not an allegation. It's his right." Trent's jaw worked. "This needs to go through compliance." "Then call them," Marla said. Elias watched the two of them. His heart pounded. He felt exposed, vulnerable. The lobby's eyes pressed against him. But he thought of Lila. He thought of her hands folding bills into envelopes, her careful calculations in the passbook margins. She had trusted him to finish this. "I'm requesting a formal audit," Elias said, "and a compliance review of all fees charged to my accounts." Trent turned. His face was red now. "Sir, you're making a scene." "I'm asking for what's mine," Elias said. His voice was steady. "And what was stolen from my neighbors." Mrs. Park had returned. She stood near the entrance, phone in hand, but lowered. Her face was grave. Dev reopened his laptop. His fingers flew across the keys. "I'm filing an internal report," Dev said. "Per protocol. Suspected discriminatory fee application based on zip code demographics." "Don't," Trent said. His voice was sharp. "It's my job," Dev said. He did not look up. Marla reset the printer. It hummed back to life. The canceled page printed again, then the next. Trent's phone buzzed repeatedly now. He pulled it out and read the screen. His face went from red to gray. "Everyone stop," Trent said. "I'm calling security." "For what?" Marla said. "Disruption of bank operations," Trent said. Elias's chest tightened. He was scared, but he did not move. "I'm not disrupting anything," Elias said quietly. "I'm asking to be seen." The printer finished. Marla gathered the pages and brought them to Elias. Her hands were shaking slightly. "Your complete account statements and fee history," Marla said, "as requested." Elias took them. The paper was warm from the printer. He looked at the numbers, at the fees marked in red, at the designation still intact beneath them all. Lila Carver Scholars Fund. "I'd like a manager's signature acknowledging these discrepancies," Elias said. Trent laughed. It was a bitter sound. "You're not getting my signature?" "Then I'll wait for someone who will give it," Elias said. He met Trent's eyes. The silence stretched. Finally, Elias spoke again. His voice was soft but certain. "We finish this here. Today." Word moved through the lobby without anyone speaking. Customers whispered to each other. A woman near the back pulled out her phone and typed rapidly. Mrs. Park stepped closer. She did not speak, but her presence steadied Elias. She was a witness. Marla set the printed statements on the counter. Her face was tight. "I need to initial these as the processing manager." Trent blocked her. "Don't." "It's required," Marla said. "I'm invoking managerial discretion," Trent said. "We don't sign off on disputed documents." "These aren't disputed," Marla said. "They're system-generated records." Trent's voice dropped to a harsh whisper. "You initial these. You're validating his complaint. That puts the bank at risk." "Not initialing them violates policy," Marla said. Her voice was shaking now, but she did not back down. "That puts me at risk." Elias watched them. His chest was tight. He felt small again, powerless. The old invisibility crept back around him. But he touched the envelope in his pocket. Lila's handwriting was inside, her faith in him. "I can wait," Elias said. Trent spun toward him. "This is ridiculous. You're holding up the entire branch for some paperwork." "I'm holding up nothing," Elias said. "You are." Dev's laptop chimed. He glanced at the screen and his eyes widened. "Compliance just responded," Dev said. "They want a video call, now." Trent's face went white again. "What did you tell them?" "The truth," Dev said. "Unauthorized fees, pattern-matching discriminatory practices, customer requesting audit." Trent's hands curled into fists. He said nothing. Marla moved to her desk and picked up the phone. "I'll set up the conference line." "Don't," Trent said. Marla ignored him. She dialed. The phone rang twice before someone answered. "Compliance, this is Officer Reyes," a voice said through the speaker. "This is Marla Rios, assistant manager at the Metro branch," Marla said. "We have a situation that requires immediate review." "Describe it," Officer Reyes said. Marla took a breath. "A customer with legacy accounts is requesting a statement and fee audit. The system shows approximately $18,000 in unauthorized fees applied retroactively. IT support flagged a pattern suggesting discriminatory application based on zip code." The line was quiet for a moment. Then Officer Reyes spoke again. Her voice was sharp. "Put the branch manager on." Trent did not move. Marla gestured to the phone. "Mr. Duffy, compliance wants to speak with you." Trent walked slowly to the phone. His voice was tight. "This is Trent Duffy." "Explain," Officer Reyes said. "It's a misunderstanding," Trent said. "Some system errors, nothing more." "System errors that only affect one zip code?" Officer Reyes said. "That's not a glitch. That's targeting." Trent's jaw clenched. "I haven't had time to fully investigate." "Then investigate now," Officer Reyes said, "and provide the customer with everything he's requested, immediately." Trent started. "That's not a suggestion," Officer Reyes said. The line went dead. Trent stood frozen beside the phone. His face was a mask. Finally, he turned to Marla. "Print everything," Trent said. "Fee logs, transaction history, all of it." Marla nodded. She returned to the terminal and began typing. The printer started again, a steady rhythm. Dev was still at his laptop. His fingers moved quickly across the keyboard. "I'm pulling the full data set," he said quietly. "Every account in this zip code for the past 5 years." "Why?" Elias said. Dev looked at him. His eyes were serious. "Because if they did this to you, they did it to others." Marla brought a new stack of papers to the counter. "These are the aggregated fee reports, by zip code." She spread them out. Elias leaned over. The numbers were stark. Hundreds of accounts, thousands of dollars in fees marked as maintenance and conversion. "All from my neighborhood?" Elias said. Marla nodded. Her voice was quiet. "Most of them from accounts opened before 1980. Legacy accounts, just like yours." "Accounts held by people who wouldn't question a bank," Elias said. "Yes," Marla said. Elias felt anger surge through him. It was hot and sharp. But beneath it was something deeper. Grief. For Lila, for the neighbors he passed every day, for the quiet theft that had gone unnoticed for years. "I want this reported," Elias said. "All of it." "It will be," Dev said. "I'm sending the data to compliance now." Trent's phone rang. He answered it, stepping away from the counter. His voice was low, defensive. Elias could not hear the words, but the tone was clear. Mrs. Park stepped closer to Elias. "You're very brave," she said. "I'm scared," Elias said. "That's what makes it brave," Mrs. Park said. The front door opened. A young woman in her 30s rushed in. Her face was tight with worry. She scanned the lobby, and her eyes found Elias. "Dad?" she said. It was Avery, his daughter. Elias's chest tightened. Avery crossed the lobby quickly. Her voice was low but sharp. "Dad, I got your text. What's going on?" Elias had sent her a message an hour ago. "At the bank. May need you." "I'm asking for my balance," Elias said. Avery looked at the papers spread across the counter. At Marla, at Dev, at Trent, who had returned, and now stood with his arms crossed. "Why do you need all this?" Avery said. "They've been stealing from us," Elias said quietly. "From the neighborhood." Avery's eyes widened. She looked at Trent. "Is that true?" "It's a complicated situation," Trent said smoothly. "System errors that we're investigating." "System errors?" Avery said. Her voice rose. "That Target 1 zip code?" "We don't know the full scope yet," Trent said. "Sounds like you know enough," Avery said. She turned to Elias. "What do you need from me?" "Just be here," Elias said. "I'm asking to be seen." Avery's expression softened. She reached out and squeezed his hand. Then she turned to Trent. "I'd like to observe your policy in action." "This is a private banking matter," Trent said. "My father made it public when you laughed at him," Avery said. Trent's face flushed. "I did no such thing." "I saw you," Mrs. Park said from across the lobby. Her voice was clear and firm. "We all did." Other customers nodded. A man near the coffee station spoke up. "He suggested the ATM was more your speed." Trent's jaw tightened. "I was trying to help." "You were trying to dismiss him," Avery said. She pulled out her phone. "I'm recording audio, for documentation, not video, so don't worry about privacy." "You can't do that," Trent said. "California's a one-party consent state," Avery said. "And I'm a party to this conversation now." Trent looked at Marla. "Stop this." Marla's voice was steady. "She's within her rights." Trent's phone rang again. He stepped away to answer it. His voice was harsh, defensive. Dev finished typing and closed his laptop. He looked at Elias. "Compliance has everything. They're reviewing now." "How long will that take?" Elias said. "Usually a few hours," Dev said. "But given the scope, maybe longer." Elias felt exhaustion settle over him. His knees ached. He had been standing for over an hour. Avery noticed. "Dad, sit down." "I'll stand," Elias said. "You don't have to prove anything," Avery said gently. "I'm not proving," Elias said. "I'm waiting." Avery's eyes filled. She nodded and stood beside him. Marla returned to the terminal. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then she began typing. "What are you doing?" Trent said. He had ended his call and returned to the counter. "Processing an override," Marla said, "to print the full documentation package." "I didn't authorize that," Trent said. "You don't need to," Marla said. "Compliance requested it. I'm following their directive." Trent's face went red. "You're overstepping." "I'm doing my job," Marla said. She pressed enter. The printer hummed louder this time, working through multiple pages. Trent stood beside her, his body rigid. The pages emerged one by one: account summaries, fee breakdowns, zip code analytics, cross-referenced patterns. Marla gathered them and brought them to Elias. "This is everything." Elias looked at the stack. His hands shook slightly as he took it. "Thank you," Elias said. "I'm sorry this happened," Marla said. Her voice was quiet. "It shouldn't have." "But it did," Elias said. "And now we fix it." He turned to Trent. "I need your signature acknowledging receipt of these documents and the discrepancies noted." Trent laughed. It was a sharp, bitter sound. "I'm not signing anything." "Then I'll request it from compliance," Elias said. "Good luck with that," Trent said. The phone rang. Marla answered. "Metro Branch, Marla speaking." She listened. Her face went still. Yes, ma'am. I understand. She hung up and looked at Trent. That was Officer Reyes. She wants you to sign the acknowledgement form, now. She has no authority over me, Trent said. She has authority over the branch's compliance standing, Marla said. If you refuse, she'll escalate to corporate. Trent's hands curled into fists. He stared at the papers, at Elias, at the lobby full of watching faces. Finally, he grabbed a pen. He signed the bottom of the acknowledgement form with a harsh scrawl. There, Trent said. Happy? Not yet, Elias said quietly. He gathered the signed papers and held them carefully. Lila's envelope was still in his pocket. The Scholars Fund was still intact. But the fight was not over. The lobby had filled over the past hour. It was now midday. The lunch crowd moved through the doors, pausing when they saw the small gathering at the counter. A woman in scrubs walked in and stopped. She looked at Elias, at the papers, at Mrs. Park standing nearby. What's happening? The woman said. A man getting his balance, Mrs. Park said. And the truth. The woman nodded and stepped closer. She did not leave. Trent noticed the growing crowd. His voice was tight. This is disrupting operations. I'm going to have to ask everyone to clear the area. We're customers, Mrs. Park said. We're waiting for service. You've already been served, Trent said to her. Then I'm waiting to open a new account, Mrs. Park said coolly. I have that right. Others murmured agreement. No one moved. Trent's face was red again. He turned to Marla. Call security. For what? Marla said. No one's breaking any rules. They're loitering, Trent said. They're witnessing, Avery said. Trent's phone rang again. He looked at the screen and his face went pale. He answered. Yes, sir. He listened. His shoulders sagged. Understood, Trent said. He hung up. He looked at Marla. Corporate wants a full incident report, by end of day. I'll prepare it, Marla said. Trent said nothing. He turned and walked toward his office. His movements were stiff. Dev packed up his laptop. I've sent everything to compliance and IT management. They'll run an independent audit. Thank you, Elias said. Dev hesitated. Then he extended his hand. Elias shook it. What you did took courage, Dev said. I just asked for my balance, Elias said. You asked for more than that, Dev said. You asked for justice. Dev left. The lobby was quieter now, but the tension remained. Elias looked at the papers in his hands, at the signatures, at the proof. What happens now? Avery said. We wait for compliance, Marla said. They'll determine next steps. How long? Elias said. Could be days, Marla said. Could be weeks. Elias nodded slowly. He was tired, but he felt something else too, something he had not felt in a long time. He felt seen. The phone on Marla's desk rang. She answered quickly. Metro Branch. She listened. Her eyes widened. Yes, I'll tell him. She hung up and looked at Elias. Compliance wants to do a real-time review. They're connecting to our system now. What does that mean? Elias said. It means they're pulling everything, Marla said. Every account tied to this branch for the past 5 years. Trent reappeared from his office. His face was ashen. They can't do that without authorization. They have it, Marla said. From corporate. Trent's jaw worked. He said nothing. A new terminal lit up at the back of the room. Numbers began scrolling across the screen. Dev's data, now magnified and analyzed in real time. Marla walked over and watched. Her face grew darker with each passing second. There are over 200 accounts, Marla said quietly, all with unauthorized fees, all from the same zip code. Elias felt his breath catch. 200 families, 200 sets of savings siphoned away. Mrs. Park stepped beside him. My account is probably on that list. Mine too, said the woman in scrubs. Others spoke up. A man in a work uniform, a young mother with a baby, an elderly couple holding hands. Trent backed toward his office. This is a system-wide issue. It's not specific to this branch. Then why does it only affect this zip code? Avery said. Trent had no answer. The terminal beeped. A new screen appeared. At the top, in bold letters, total unauthorized fees applied, $487,320. The lobby went silent. Elias stared at the number. $500,000, taken quietly, a little at a time, from people who could not afford to fight. That's theft, Mrs. Park said. Her voice shook. Plain and simple. Marla printed the summary. She held it in her hands and looked at Trent. This is your branch, Marla said. Your oversight. I didn't authorize those fees, Trent said. But you didn't stop them, Marla said. Trent's face twisted. I'm not responsible for every system error. This wasn't an error, Elias said quietly. This was a choice. The phone rang again. Marla answered. She listened, then handed the receiver to Trent. It's corporate, Marla said. Trent took the phone. His voice was tight. Trent Duffy. He listened. His face went from red to white to gray. Yes, sir, Trent said finally. I understand. He hung up. He did not look at anyone. I'm being placed on administrative leave, Trent said, effective immediately. He walked past the counter, past Elias, past the watching crowd. He did not look back. The door closed behind him. Marla stood alone behind the counter. Her face was pale but steady. She looked at Elias. I'm acting manager now, Marla said, until corporate assigns someone permanent. What happens next? Elias said. We restore what was taken, Marla said. All of it. She turned to the terminal and began typing. Her fingers were quick, certain. I'm flagging every affected account for immediate fee reversal, Marla said. It'll take a few days to process, but everyone will be made whole. Mrs. Park stepped forward. How will people know? We'll send notifications, Marla said, by mail and email, and we'll hold a community meeting to explain what happened. Will the bank apologize? Avery said. Marla looked at her. Yes, formally. Avery nodded. She turned to her father. You did this. Lila did this, Elias said quietly. I just finished it. The lobby was full now. Word had spread beyond the bank. Neighbors stood together, quiet but present. A security guard appeared near the entrance. He looked at the crowd, then at Marla. Ma'am, the guard said, do you need assistance? No, Marla said. These are our customers. They're welcome. The guard nodded and stepped back. Dev returned through the side door. He was carrying a laptop bag and a folder. I have the full audit report, Dev said. Compliance approved its release. He handed the folder to Elias. This documents everything. The pattern, the targeting, the totals. You can use it however you need. Elias took the folder. It was heavy. Not with paper, but with proof. Thank you, Elias said. Thank you, Dev said, for not walking away. Elias opened the folder. Inside were charts, graphs, timelines, all of it pointing to the same conclusion. Deliberate, systematic theft from the city's most vulnerable. He closed the folder and looked at Marla. I want to set up the scholarship fund. Now. I can help with that, Marla said. She pulled up the account management screen and began creating sub-accounts. One for tuition, one for books, one for living expenses. Who will oversee it? Marla said. I will, Avery said, as director, if that's okay with you, Dad. Elias felt his throat tighten. Lila would be proud. Avery's eyes filled. She nodded. Marla finished the setup. It's done. The Lila Carver Scholars Fund is officially active." Mrs. Park clapped softly. Others joined. The applause was quiet, but real. Elias felt something break open inside him. Relief. Grief. Joy. He had kept his promise. The phone rang again. Marla answered. Her face softened. "Yes, ma'am. He's right here." She handed the phone to Elias. "Officer Reyes wants to speak with you." Elias took the phone. His hand was steady now. "This is Elias Carver." "Mr. Carver," Officer Reyes said. Her voice was warm. "I want to thank you. What you did today exposed a serious breach of trust. Because of you, we're launching a company-wide audit of all legacy accounts." "Thank you," Elias said. "No," Officer Reyes said. "Thank you. You could have walked away. You didn't." She paused. "We'll be sending a formal letter of apology, and corporate is establishing a fund to match the scholarship contributions, dollar for dollar." Elias's breath caught. "They are?" "They are," Officer Reyes said. "It's the least we can do." She hung up. Elias handed the phone back to Marla. "They're matching the scholarship fund," Elias said. His voice shook. Avery hugged him. Her tears were hot against his shoulder. Mrs. Park stepped forward. "This is what community looks like." Others murmured agreement. The woman in scrubs, the man in the work uniform, the young mother. They had all been invisible. Now they were witnesses. Marla printed a receipt for the scholarship fund setup. She handed it to Elias. "You'll receive monthly statements," Marla said, "and I'll personally oversee the account. No fees, ever." "I trust you," Elias said. Marla's eyes filled. She nodded. Elias gathered his papers, the passbooks, the statements, the audit report. He slid them all back into Lila's envelope. "I'm going home," Elias said. "Do you need a ride?" Avery said. "I'll take the bus," Elias said. "I like the bus." Avery smiled. "Then I'll ride with you." They walked toward the exit together. The crowd parted. Faces nodded. Hands reached out to touch Elias's arm, his shoulder. He was seen. Fully. Finally seen. At the door, he paused and looked back. Marla was still at the counter, already helping the next customer. Dev was at his laptop, probably documenting everything. Mrs. Park stood in the center of the lobby. She met Elias's eyes and nodded once. He nodded back. Then he and Avery stepped outside into the afternoon sun. Elias sat alone in a side office. Marla had led him here, an hour ago, saying it would be quieter while they waited for final approval from compliance. But now he was alone. Avery had gone to the restroom. Marla was on another call. The door was closed. He felt the old invisibility returning, the quiet that had surrounded him most of his life, the sense of being small in a world that did not notice. He touched the envelope on the table. Lila's handwriting was faint now, worn by his fingers over months of carrying it. He traced her letters. For the scholars. When the time is right. "Is this right, Lila?" he whispered. No answer came. Just the hum of the fluorescent lights above. Elias felt doubt creep in. What if compliance reversed their decision? What if the fees were never returned? What if he had exposed himself and his neighbors for nothing? His chest tightened. His breath came short. Then he heard Lila's voice in his memory. Not words she had spoken to him, but words she had lived by. Dignity is not given, it's claimed. He straightened in his chair, his hands steadied. The door opened. A man in a suit stepped in. His badge read Corporate Compliance. "Mr. Carver?" the man said. "Yes," Elias said. "I'm Michael Torres," the man said. "Senior Compliance Officer. I need to ask you some questions." Elias nodded. "I'll answer them." Torres sat across from him and opened a folder. "Tell me what happened today. From the beginning," Elias told him. "Every word, Every moment. The concierge who dismissed him, the manager who laughed, the balance revealed, the pattern discovered. Torres listened without interrupting. When Elias finished, Torres closed the folder. "You've done the right thing," Torres said. "But I need to warn you. This is going to be public. News outlets will pick it up. People will ask you to speak." "I don't want attention," Elias said. "I know," Torres said. "But attention is coming whether you want it or not. The question is how you handle it." Elias was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. "I'll speak," Elias said. "If it helps the others." Torres nodded. "It will." Torres set up a laptop on the desk and opened a video call. A woman appeared on screen. She was older, sharp-eyed, wearing a blazer. "Mr. Carver, I'm Janet Okafor, head of corporate compliance," she said. "I've reviewed your case personally." "Yes, ma'am," Elias said. "What happened to you and your neighbors is inexcusable," Okafor said. "The bank failed you. I want to apologize on behalf of the institution." "I appreciate that," Elias said. "But apologies don't return what was stolen." "No, they don't," Okafor said. "That's why we're ordering immediate restitution. Every affected account will have fees reversed within 72 hours, with interest." Elias's breath caught. "With interest?" "With interest," Okafor said, "calculated from the date each fee was applied." She paused. "Additionally, we're suspending all account conversion programs nationwide pending a full audit. What happened at Tok, your branch may have happened elsewhere." Elias felt relief flood through him, but he kept his voice steady. "What about Mr. Duffy?" "He's on administrative leave," Okafor said. "His employment is under review. If we find he knowingly authorized discriminatory practices, he'll be terminated." "And if he didn't know?" Elias said. "Then he failed in his oversight responsibilities," Okafor said. "Either way, he won't be returning to management." Marla appeared in the doorway. She knocked gently. "I'm sorry to interrupt. We need Mr. Carver's signature on some forms." "Of course," Okafor said. "Mr. Carver, thank you for your patience and your courage." The call ended. Elias stood slowly. His knees ached worse now. He had been sitting too long. Marla led him back to the counter. Papers were spread across it, signature lines highlighted in yellow. "These authorize the scholarship fund disbursements," Marla said, "and these acknowledge receipt of the audit reports." Elias signed each one carefully. His hand was steady. Behind him, the lobby was still full. Mrs. Park sat in a chair near the window. Avery stood beside Dev, who was showing her something on his laptop. Security hovered near the entrance, but they had not moved forward. They were just watching. "Is this really over?" Elias said to Marla. "The hard part is," Marla said. "Now comes the building." She handed him a folder. "These are the scholarship application guidelines. Avery helped draft them. You should review them." Elias opened the folder. Inside were forms, criteria, instructions, all of it designed to honor Lila's vision. His throat tightened. She would love this. "Then let's make it real," Marla said. The security guard stepped closer. He was young, maybe 23. His name tag read Jackson. "Ma'am," Jackson said to Marla, "I was told to maintain order." "Order is maintained," Marla said. "These people are here peacefully." "Mr. Duffy asked me to remove anyone causing disruptions," Jackson said. "Mr. Duffy is no longer in charge," Marla said. Her voice was firm. "I am. And I'm telling you these customers are welcome." Jackson hesitated. He looked at Elias, at the papers on the counter, at the crowd. "Yes, ma'am," Jackson said. He stepped back. Mrs. Park stood and walked to the counter. She set her purse down and looked at Marla. "I want to request an audit of my account," Mrs. Park said. "I've been charged fees for years. I never questioned them." We'll run the audit immediately, Marla said. And if there are discrepancies, we'll fix them. Others stepped forward. The woman in scrubs, the man in the work uniform, the elderly couple. We all want audits, the woman said. Then we'll do them, Marla said. All of you. Today. She called to the other tellers. Open every window. We're processing audit requests for the rest of the day. The tellers moved quickly. Windows lit up. Customers formed orderly lines. Elias watched. This was bigger than him now. Bigger than Lila's accounts. It was the neighborhood reclaiming what was theirs. Avery stood beside him. This is amazing, Dad. It's just people asking for what's right, Elias said. That's what makes it amazing, Avery said. Trent appeared suddenly in the doorway to the office. He looked smaller now, diminished. His tie was loosened. His face was pale. He walked toward Marla. She stiffened. I need to get my things, Trent said quietly. They'll be sent to you, Marla said. You're not authorized to enter operational areas. Marla, please, Trent said. I made mistakes, but I didn't mean— You laughed at him, Marla said. Her voice was hard. In front of everyone. You humiliated him. I didn't know the balance, Trent said. It wouldn't have mattered if it was $10 or 10 million, Marla said. He deserved respect. They all did. Trent looked at Elias. I'm sorry. Elias met his eyes. He felt no satisfaction in this moment. Only sadness. Sorry doesn't restore what you took, Elias said. But it's a start. Trent nodded. He turned and walked toward the exit. The crowd parted silently. No one spoke. No one followed. He left. The printer jammed. The sound was sudden and harsh. Marla cursed softly and opened the panel. Paper is stuck, Marla said. It'll take a minute. Elias felt his stomach drop. They were so close. The scholarship accounts were set up. The audit reports were ready. The restitution orders were signed. But now the machine that would make it all official sat broken. He thought of all the times things had stopped just before the finish. Job applications lost. Loan requests denied. Moments when he had been inches from something good, only to have it snatched away. Maybe it's a sign, Elias said quietly. Avery turned to him. What? That this won't work, Elias said. That they'll find a way to take it back. Avery gripped his hand. No, this is just a printer. We fix it and keep going. What if we can't fix it? Elias said. Avery's voice was firm. Then we find another printer. Dad, remember what Mom always said? Elias's throat tightened. What? Patience is how the quiet win, Avery said. Elias felt tears prick his eyes. Lila had said that. Over and over during the hard years. When the rent was late. When the car broke down. When the world seemed determined to grind them into nothing. Patience is how the quiet win. Marla pulled the jammed paper free. She fed new sheets into the tray and closed the panel. The printer hummed back to life. There, Marla said. We're good. The pages started printing again, slowly at first, then steadily. Elias watched each one emerge. Account summaries, restitution calculations, scholarship guidelines, all of it proof that they had not been forgotten. Mrs. Park appeared beside him. You did it, Elias. We did it, Elias said. No, Mrs. Park said gently. You started it. The rest of us just followed. Elias felt something break, inside him. Not in a painful way. In the way a dam breaks when it finally lets the river through. He cried. Quietly, standing there at the counter, surrounded by neighbors and strangers who had become witnesses. Avery hugged him. It's okay, Dad. It's okay. I miss her, Elias whispered. I know, Avery said. But she'd be so proud. The printer finished. The last page settled into the tray. Marla gathered the completed documents. She set them before Elias with ceremony. "These are your official scholarship fund records," Marla said, "signed by me as acting manager and approved by corporate compliance." She turned to a second stack. "And these are the restitution notices for your neighbors. 218 accounts. Everyone will receive full refunds with interest." The lobby erupted in applause. Not loud. Not wild. Just steady, grateful acknowledgement. Elias looked at the papers. His eyes were still wet. "What do I do now?" "You sign," Marla said. She handed him a pen. "Right here." Elias signed his name on the scholarship authorization. His handwriting was shaky but clear. Marla countersigned below. Then she turned to the crowd. "Anyone who submitted an audit request today will receive results within 3 business days. Refunds will follow within a week." More applause. Mrs. Park stood and raised her hands. 3 cheers for Elias Carver. "No," Elias said quickly. "Please, no." But they cheered anyway. 3 times. The sound filled the glass and steel lobby. When it faded, Elias spoke. His voice was soft but steady. "This isn't about me," Elias said. "It's about all of us. About people who work hard and save carefully and deserve to be treated with dignity." He held up Lila's envelope. "My wife believed in this neighborhood. She believed in its children. That's who this is for." He looked at Avery. "And for anyone who wants to help carry it forward." Avery stepped beside him. "I'll make sure every dollar goes where Mom intended. I promise." Dev raised his hand. "I'll volunteer technical support. For tracking, reporting, whatever you need." Mrs. Park nodded. "I'll help recruit applicants. Make sure the kids who need it most hear about it." Others spoke up. The woman in scrubs offered to serve on a review committee. The man in the work uniform knew contractors who could help with building projects. A community was forming. Right there in the bank lobby. Officer Reyes appeared on Marla's monitor. She had rejoined the video call. "Mr. Carver, you've sparked something important. The bank will issue a public statement tomorrow acknowledging the discriminatory practices and outlining corrective measures." "Will it be honest?" Elias said. "It will be," Okafor said. "I'm writing it myself." "Then I'll read it," Elias said. The call ended. Marla handed Elias a business card. "My direct line. Call anytime." "Thank you," Elias said, "for choosing right." Marla's eyes filled. "Thank you for making it possible." 2 weeks later, Elias stood in the community center auditorium. It was modest. Folding chairs on a scuffed wood floor, a small stage with a podium. But it was full. Every seat taken. People standing along the walls. Avery stood beside him, holding a folder. Dev sat in the front row with his laptop. Mrs. Park was there, and the woman in scrubs, and the man in the work uniform. Marla sat near the back. She had come on her own time. A banner hung above the stage. Lila Carver Scholars Fund. Information session. Elias stepped to the podium. His hands shook slightly. He gripped the sides to steady them. "Thank you for coming," Elias said. "I'm here to tell you about a fund established in my late wife's name. A fund meant to help neighborhood kids afford college." He explained the criteria, the application process, the amounts available. "This isn't charity," Elias said. "It's restitution. It's what should have been yours all along." A woman in the audience raised her hand. "How do we know this is real, that it won't disappear?" "I'll make sure it's real," Avery said, stepping forward. "I'm the director, and I'm accountable to this community." Dev stood. "I'm providing technical oversight. Every transaction will be documented and transparent. You'll be able to track every dollar." Mrs. Park spoke from her seat. "I've known Elias for 40 years. If he says it's real, it's real." The woman nodded. She seemed satisfied. Another man stood. What about the people who were stolen from? When do they get their money back? The bank has processed refunds for all affected accounts, Marla said from the back. If you haven't received yours, contact me directly. She held up her business card. I mean it. Call me. The meeting continued for an hour. Questions answered, forms distributed, hope kindled. When it ended, people lined up to shake Elias's hand, to thank him, to tell him their stories. A young woman approached. She was maybe 19, wearing a server's uniform. My grandmother had an account at that bank, she said. She always said something was wrong, that the fees didn't make sense. She was right, Elias said. The woman's eyes filled. She died last year. She'll never know the truth came out. She knows, Elias said gently. Somewhere she knows. The woman nodded and walked away. Avery touched Elias's arm. You ready to go? Almost, Elias said. He walked to the banner and looked at Lila's name. His chest was tight, but his shoulders were light. We did it, love, he whispered. It's real now. 3 months later, the bank's main office held a formal event. Elias had been invited. Avery came with him. The lobby was different now. New signs explained customer rights. Legacy account protections were posted prominently. A diversity committee had been formed. Janet Okafor met them at the entrance. Mr. Carver, Ms. Carver, thank you for coming. Thank you for inviting us, Elias said. Okafor led them to a conference room. Inside were 20 people, bank executives, community leaders, reporters. On the wall hung a framed letter. Elias stepped closer to read it. Public apology and commitment to change. The letter outlined everything: the discriminatory fees, the systemic targeting, the failures of oversight. It named Trent Duffy specifically and acknowledged his removal. At the bottom were signatures: Okafor's, the CEO's, the board chairs. This will hang in every branch, Okafor said, so customers know we're accountable. Will it actually change anything? Avery said. Yes, Okafor said. We've restructured our fee policies, established independent audits, created a restitution fund. She turned to Elias. And we're matching your scholarship contributions, dollar for dollar, indefinitely. Elias felt his breath catch. Indefinitely? Indefinitely, Okafor said. It's the least we can do. A reporter raised her hand. Mr. Carver, can I ask how you feel about this outcome? Elias was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. I feel like justice is possible, Elias said. Not easy, not quick, but possible. Do you forgive the bank? Another reporter said. I'm not interested in forgiveness, Elias said. I'm interested in change. Forgiveness is between them and God. The reporters scribbled notes. Cameras clicked. After the event, Elias and Avery walked outside. The sun was setting, painting the glass buildings gold. Mom would be proud, Avery said. She'd say we're just getting started, Elias said. Avery laughed. That sounds exactly like her. They walked to the bus stop together. A woman recognized Elias and nodded. He nodded back. On the bus, Avery showed him the scholarship applications they'd received. Dozens of them. Kids from the neighborhood. Kids with dreams. We're funding 15 this year, Avery said. Books, tuition, living expenses, everything. 15 lives changed, Elias said. More than that, Avery said. 15 families, 15 futures. Elias looked out the window. The city passed by. His city. Lila's city. Their city. 6 months later, Elias sat in the same auditorium. But now the stage was set differently. 15 young people sat in folding chairs, wearing their best clothes. The audience was packed. Families, neighbors, teachers. Avery stood at the podium. Today we honor the first recipients of the Lila Carver Scholars Fund. These students represent the best of our community, their resilience, their hope, their determination. She called each name. Each student walked forward to receive an envelope. Inside was a check and a letter of encouragement. When the last name was called, Avery invited Elias to the stage. He walked slowly. His knees still ached, but they always would. He stood at the podium and looked at the 15 students. Their faces were bright, hopeful, seen. "My wife Lila worked 3 jobs most of her life," Elias said. "She saved every dollar she could, not for herself, for you." His voice caught. He steadied himself. "She believed in dignity," Elias said. "The dignity of hard work, the dignity of being seen, the dignity of a community that lifts each other up." He held up the envelope, the one that had started everything. "This is what faith looks like, not just faith in God, but faith in each other." The audience was silent, listening. "These scholarships aren't the end," Elias said. "They're the beginning of you telling your stories, of you changing your families, of you coming back and lifting the next ones up." He looked at each student. "You are seen. You are valued. You are enough." The applause started slowly. Then it built. The students stood. The audience stood. The sound filled the room. Elias stepped back. Avery hugged him. "Perfect, Dad." "No," Elias said. "Just honest." After the ceremony, he walked home alone. Avery had offered to drive him, but he wanted to walk, wanted to feel the sidewalk under his feet, wanted to pass the neighbors who waved, wanted to smell the evening air. At his apartment, he sat in his chair by the window. The envelope sat on the table. Empty now, its purpose fulfilled. He thought of Lila, of her hands folding bills, of her voice saying, "Patience is how the quiet win." "We won, love," he whispered. "Not loud, not fast, but we won." Outside, the streetlights flickered on. The city hummed with life. The glass buildings reflected faces that finally looked seen. Elias closed his eyes. His shoulders were light. His heart was full. He was home.